So how many years would you say it took you to come to that realization?
Crazy thing is, I knew it the whole time. It was just hard for me to accept and just leave and get out of it. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at the fear factors behind it too, because it's a mental thing, man. It's a mental thing. I had plenty of conversations with myself before. I walked around with the paperwork in my pocket in the penitentiary for probably 2 weeks before I even gave it to them, because I was contemplating the consequences that come behind it. They could come behind it, because even though it's a legit way to get out.
You say the paperwork?
Yeah, you got to. You have to.
So okay,
you got to really fill out your paperwork for the reasons of why you leaving.
To leave the jail.
Yeah. They got this thing where they say, they gotta pass it along, and you know what I'm saying, and it's got to go through its process, and then it's got to come back like a parole hearing. It's got to come back with a final decision as if, okay, you know what I'm saying, we allowing it to happen. You know what I'm saying? I had it in my pocket for probably 2 weeks because of, the consequences that come behind it. I woke up one morning and I was like, man, I'm a man before anything, and I was man enough to get in it and accept the stuff that's been coming with it. I'm man enough to take what come with it if I decide to leave. And that's how I felt. And that was even in, if I don't walk out of prison. But I knew I was making a decision to say, I'm a man before anything, man, and I'm done. And yeah, it wasn't easy, but I just so happened it was a blessing that, I was able to move the way I moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did they take any physical action when you was leaving?
Mm-mm. And it was scary because they had just took physical action, on a brother probably about a month or two before I had left. And that was the last straw for me. It was several reasons, but I had what they call a POA, a position of authority at the time, I was security in part, and I was real cool with his brother in it. So it was some stuff that was going on, and they did it completely wrong. And he went and asked the opposition for a knife. And the opposition told the guys, that he can't ask for a knife, so they basically charged him with burning arms against the folk.
So the gang is charging.
Yeah.
This is real deal politics.
This is real deal politics right here. This in this type of situation, like I've seen, you got this levels to it, but this right here, this is serious, because the number one thing when it comes to any gang organization is security. So at the point you got somebody who basically just walked away from the organization going to ask the opposition for a knife, they got to look at it as a security threat. You know what I'm saying? Why he going to get a knife? Because he just walked away from us. So if he's going to bear arms, he's going to bear arms against us. So, but the opposition strategically in the penitentiary, this is penitentiary rules in effect at this point, because they looking at it, it's a numbers game in the penitentiary. So if the Crip give him the knife and then he run behind and tell, he looking at it, that's a way to eliminate probably more of them, because they got to take care of their own business. So it's war. It's a strategy. And they made a call on him, man, and they didn't tell me. And I was supposed to be the first one to know because I was scared in part. But I could just tell because I know how we move when a call was made. And I was wondering what was going on. And they did it to him, man. They stabbed him. They sent 3 brothers to stab him. Them brothers went to max. And then majority of the time, depending on what penitentiary, because a lot of people gonna get in the comment section, well, that ain't how it go everywhere. All the G's ain't like that everywhere. Well, it was like that here. If you've been to the penitentiary in Tennessee, then you know what I'm saying is true. They went to max, then send them brothers nothing, and years later I run across them brothers in other penitentiaries after they done did 5 years on max, and they say, man, Joe T, man, I knew I should have came out of it, this and that. Yeah. You knew, even if you hollered at me at night, you should have went. But after that, man, that was kind of my last straw, man, because I watched the person who was second in command make a bunch of bogus calls.
And this is all in prison?
Yeah.
So you was able to put down your flag, I guess,
in prison.
In prison?
Yeah.
How far into your sentence?
I had about 5 years then.
That's crazy. So the other 5 years?
Let me see. Because
you did 10 years, right?
2, 3, 4. I had 4 years left.
Okay. So for 4 years, you was able to everything be good.
Yeah, and guess what? Still, I got more. I ain't gonna say I had more love and respect, but I still had the same respect and love without it. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't one of them dudes who come in the penitentiary who gained it for, protection or whatever other reasons. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. You know what I'm saying? Just like when I was in the streets, like I believe the street code. I believe in the street laws. I believe in, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And by the time, nah. And yeah, my 4 years after that, the G still love me to death. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere I went, like I could still, like it was still like I was them, but still now. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of people reach out to me from the penitentiary now, call me even on the streets, like people who ain't never been to the penitentiary. I get. Man, it's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy.
From the way that gangs and prison gangs is like commonly described, hearing you say that, to being able to put your flag down in prison and everything, because it's like almost unheard of from the way
it's not common.
So why is it that you was able, like the main reason you was able to do that?
Because the administration had just got moved out of the penitentiary.
The administration, the gang administration.
The gang administration.
It's crazy.
Mine fell in place the way it did because it was a blessing. It was okay, so boom, let's check this out. So it was a rolling 60 crib that I had started doing business with because I had lost my phone. And I was going to visit, if not every week, every other week, and he was too. And I had a move at the penitentiary. And that's a mule. If you've been to the penitentiary, you know what I'm talking about. I had my girl coming to see me and coming to see somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So she was bringing me dope in. And at some point, it was just like, you know what I'm saying, on the days my girl can't come, I still wanted to come. So I started doing business with this crip. And I'm telling him, man, if your girl will bring her, you know what I'm saying, you can put something in the bun, which is basically he can get in on the move. So we didn't even get a chance to do business because I had no phone, and I'm letting he let me use his phone so I can cover my end, and I'm giving him access to the girl. If your girl need a call, they need to meet, whatever, just call her, and he tried to holler at them. Penitentiary rules in effect. That's part of it. He instead of just playing his role and getting whatever cut he can get in a solid move, he feel he gonna try to take it. Yeah, he gonna try to take it. Yeah. So, and I had just spontaneously needed to use the phone one day, and I go over there and holler at him. I'm like, man, kill him. I'm like, man, I need your phone real quick. He had me the phone, and when he had me the phone, I'm like, man, I need some privacy. He was like, oh, you can go to the cell. I went to the cell, pop it open. It's his phone in the penitentiary. When you use somebody else's phone, as soon as you get off, you're going to delete the number, you're going to delete the comment. You're going to delete the text message.
Yeah.
Off the top. Your phone, you probably keeping them in there because you own it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So as soon as I go through it, I'm finna text her and tell her I'm finna call. It's a thread on her.
Yeah.
They been conversing. They been back and forth. He sending pictures, she sending pictures. So when I call her, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got one question. He try to holler at you, or you try to holler at him?
Yeah.
And she started crying. She said, he tried to holler at me and this and that. So we go through a whole situation. At this point, I don't even care because I know she ain't going nowhere. But at this point, I'm thinking, I'm just finna finesse him out of the phone. I'm finna tell the guys, I want a one-on-one. I'm finna beat him up and I'm talking the phone. Because I know the codes, you know what I'm saying, because he let me use the phone. I'm finna use this opportunity to basically take the phone. And the guys wouldn't let me fight him because he was the big homie on the compound.
And he was a big homie 60s though.
Yeah, he was a big homie on 60.
Okay.
And so my charge partner was 6'0". The dude I got in trouble with, for the people who don't know what a charge partner is. He was 6'0". He had just got put on.
Okay.
So he got wind of, he come across the house. He was like, man, what's going on? And I tell him the situation. He said, what you want to do? I said, I'm finna beat him. He said, let's go over. So the 6'0's go in the cell, 4-5 of the G's in the cell. They in there talking about the situation, and finally my charge partner was like, forget all that. He was like, Joe T, what you want to do? I said, I'm finna beat him up right now. And dude, the big homie on their hood was sitting, he's sitting on the table, and they all looked at him and was like, killer, what you want to do? You want to fight him? And his exact word was, I'll never forget. No, not really. And what he said, that the Crips, you got to think, this is the dude who make calls and do this and do that. He not even willing to do what he'll send y'all to do. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so at that point, my charge partner, he was like, y'all can roll out. You know, it's roll. Y'all can go ahead and roll. Before the G's was all the way out of the cell with the dope load, they smashed him out completely. He was done. And so after that situation, I ended up going to the hole. Make a long story short, me and my charge partner ended up going to the hole because he got on the collect phone and called his girl and told her to call up there. And my charge partner had took his clothes off because he had some blood, and he left him in the cell. And they called an institutional lockdown because of what happened. And I couldn't move fast. And by the time I'm coming in the cell to see what's going on, I'm looking in the corner, and the police are already in the unit. And I'm looking, I pick the clothes up, and I see the blood, and I'm like, ow. The police are already upstairs. So I come out with everything in my trash can. I try to cover it in my trash can. I'm going to try to dump it real quick. I come out. As soon as I walk past the first police, he said, what you gonna? I said, man, I'm finna just dump my trash real quick. We're finna go on institution like that. He said, what's in the trash? I said, I ain't nothing. I said, I ain't nothing but trash. I kept walking though. So by the time he tell another officer, he was like, man, dude trying to go to the train. I said, man, don't even worry about it. I try to fade back to the cell. I already know it's now finna get searched.
Yeah.
And they searched and found the blood on her, and they sent us to the hole.
Yeah.
This was a blessing. When I get to the hole, bro, a guy came from the streets off the train, which is the bus. He fresh in the penitentiary. He had killed, I guess, probably a high-ranking G. He killed a G who it was basically zero tolerance for wherever penitentiary he landed to as soon as he got there. And the guys had already made a call that whatever compound he hit, he had to go immediately. So while I'm back here, this guy he come to the penitentiary I met, and they made a call, and 4 or 5 of the guys had to go over and stab him. Officers got stabbed, people got life flighted. They called the institutional lockdown, and at that time, the warden, what he did was he moved almost all the G's and all the Crips. He swapped them out from different penitentiaries. Okay. He moved the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, the number 4. He moved everybody who was up high ranking. And then he moved a lot of so by the time I came out of the hole, which was like 2-3 weeks later,
everything was just shook up.
The whole administration was gone. They had already made a call on me though, which I didn't know because I was on probation at the time for I took a phone from a peon, but that's a whole nother story. I took y'all can check it out on YouTube. I took a phone and I ended up taking a 6-minute violation, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. But I was on probation, and if I'd have caught any other charges, it was an eradication. Send me to the hole out the top. I'm not knowing, they thinking I set this up with my charge partner to come over here and do this to the big homie, because the big homie was also a cousin to the number 1 of the G's on the compound. So the number 1, even though he the business, he looked at it like, man, he done not only got my cousin smashed off a 6-0, he also done, you know what I'm saying, used his charge. So they tried to say that I orchestrated it, and I didn't. And the call was, as soon as I could get on the compound and smash me off. Just so happened, all of them was gone. So they didn't honor the call. And when I got out, they was actually asking me, would I get on the ballot, which is a vote, to see, you know what I'm saying, for me to be the number 1 on the compound. And there was another brother there, man, who got the number 1, because I told him I didn't want to be on no ballot. I didn't even want no position. And the brother who got on the ballot, man, was from Nashville. Man, matter of fact, I don't know if I want to shout him out or not. He got the same name as me. Yeah. But, you know what I'm talking about. And after he got the position, then all of that other stuff happened with the younger brother, the number 3 at the time, real cool with him. I'm actually still cool with him now, he's free. And I had the paperwork in my pocket, and they came in my cell talking about this same situation one day. I pulled the paperwork out, handed it to them. They were like, what's this? I said, I'm through. They were like, what? They popped it open, they read it. I'm looking at them, they looking at me, we're looking at each other. They said, you sure you want to do this? I said, man, whatever they got to say at this point. I said, man, I'm through. I can't do it no more. And they said, hey, what's up? And they ran it, they ran it up the chain. Man, and I ain't gonna lie, I was scared to death. I came out the cell, I got on the phone, I called the number 3 who I was real cool with. I told him, meet me. It was either the library, I think it was a library. And I went down and I looked him dead in his eyes. I said, hey, bro. I said, tell me. I would have checked in. I wasn't gonna let my pride get in the way.
You would have checked in?
Yeah, I would have checked in. You can't beat them all. That's for sure. I done seen it too many times. I done seen too many beatings, too many stabbings, too many people who done thought, I'm gonna fight them. They gonna send 10 of them. You can't beat them. And they train, they work out 3 times a week. You can't beat them folks. They gonna have knives and everything. It's not designed to win. So I'm telling him, I said, man, bro, I said, tell me. You know what I'm saying? I said, if I need to roll, I'll roll. I said, just give me the heads up. I said, you know what I'm saying? I said, bro, I told him the reason I was leaving. And he looked me dead in my face. He said, you straight, JT? He said, you good? He said, we got a whole new administration. We ain't moving like that, and this and that. I said, then what's up? I said, bro, I'm straight. He said, this was the move. He said, bro, you straight. I said, then what's up? A couple of days went by. They came in the cell and told me, they were like, bro, they said you free. I said, who said that? And he told me the number. He said the number 1 name. I said, bet that. As soon as he told me, I came out of my shower, went to the shower. That was me letting everybody know in the penitentiary I'm no longer affiliated. And they took that as disrespect right at the top. As soon as I got out of the shower, they came over. They were like, dang, bro, you doing like that? I said, man, bro, it's over with. Then they called Rick. And I seen the number 1. And I did him like that. I said, what's up? He said, you straight. He said, it's over. And it was done. And I did exactly what I said I was going to do, though. I'm doing it still to this day.
And there was no problem since then?
No.
Okay, so what exactly was it that you said you was gonna do?
I wanted to give my life to the King, for sure. I wanted to get in the Word, which I was already in the Word. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't. I feel that I always knew I had a calling. I always knew it was something. I just didn't, I ain't know nothing about the Word. I had a lot of questions as far as, because I watched my family struggle out their life, and they went to church. They paid tithes and never had nothing, never been nowhere, never seen nothing. You know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about financial literacy. So I feel like, why would I want to serve a God who basically I ain't never seen do nothing for you? You know what I'm saying? So I had a lot of questions, but at that point, penitentiary, scared, I'm tired. Not only I'm tired of affiliation, I got blessed. I should have got life. So at this point, it's like, man, it's time to try something different. And, I started studying myself. And at that point, of course, that burden was lifted out. And then here we are today. It's gonna, if you ask me, it's gonna get me everything I had today. So I made the best choice.
For sure. Even